Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I got a request from one of my subscribers on Telegram, and what she said was she would like to build a a home custom website. She showed me a demo website as a template. So one thing about WordPress is that you can find quite lots of premium templates on websites like ThemeForest, like themeforest.net. Right, website like this you can find quite lots of premium templates. For example, if I search for um, a an e-commerce website template for WordPress, I'm definitely going to see it. So let's say e-commerce, for example. I'm going to see options. Now, it is just all about paying money, right? So here in this case, this is an HTML template. No wonder it is $6. WordPress website templates are around $50 mark. I mean, that is even the entry point. Now, so the thing we are trying to build now. So let's look for WordPress here, for example, and let's go to e-commerce. Let's go to e-commerce. You can see that most of the themes here are around the is on an average of $50, right? If you come here, most of the best sellers here around $50, but we have sub $30 too as well. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't know what's wrong with this website though, because she shared the website with me here. She shared the website with me. This is the website we're trying to go. Let me just tell her that this website is currently not loading. What could be the problem? Let me check, because sometimes a website might be blocking your IP. So let me check if it is going to load on Opera Mini via a VPN. So I'm just going to go to my Opera Mini browser. Let me just close all the tabs, and here I'm going to click on VPN this, so that I am on VPN. All right, so I'm just going to paste the website here and hopefully it goes. If it doesn't go, then can you see that it is connecting now? Now, this is the website. It's so surprising. I think my IP was blocked. Now we are going to have to access this website using Opera Mini. Opera browser, because Opera browser has an inbuilt VPN that you can use to bypass blocking that some websites usually use. Now, what we're trying to do here is this: we are trying to build our own version of this website, right? We are trying to build this website by ourselves instead of buying the theme from maybe ThemeForest. Let me see how much the theme would have cost on ThemeForest. So let me just type Milo. Well, the website template is not on ThemeForest, but I don't know where my student, one of my subscribers, got the link from. But according to her, she liked this website, and she would like to build it she would like to build it from scratch by herself. So what we're trying to do now is trying to do the exact same thing here from scratch as well. Now to do that, I'm just going to go to I'm supposed to use a real website hosting plan, so on a real domain. But fortunately, there is a tool that I've explained this in my previous class. There is a tool, there is a website that allows us to create a WordPress website within 5 minutes. In fact, within 2 minutes, we're already done. So the name of the website is tastewp.com. Normally, you would have to buy a hosting plan and a domain name. It is such a long journey back then, before the advent of all these websites, right? Before this TasteWP. This TasteWP.com is actually one of the best websites when it comes to spinning up WordPress websites without paying any money at all. You don't even have to pay for hosting fees, but you don't have rights to the domain name though. It's just used to quickly do test runs and make demonstrations on WordPress. Now, to quickly spin up a new WordPress website, I'm just going to click on this I agree with terms, and I'm going to click on set it up. Now you can see how fast it is to create our own WordPress, right? Just within the maximum of 2 button clicks, I'm already done with my I've already created a new WordPress instance. Now I'm just going to go to visit site, and you can see here we have our fresh new WordPress website. Though this is like the previous version of WordPress. I think the default version is not updated on this site yet, but you can manually do that. That is not compulsory though, and it doesn't have any impact on the outcome of this tutorial I'm about to show you. Now let's close this tab, and let's close this tab so that we can focus. Another thing to note is that when you use testwp.com, you have a maximum of 2 days before your website is automatically deleted. But I'm going to teach you a trick that allows you not to lose your data so that you can continue working day after day after you are done. So throughout this session, I'm going to be using this service, and I'm going to be using a backup and restore solution in this training. Now I'm going to install a very special copy of a backup and restore software that I love so much. It helps you to migrate your website from host to host, and it is very beginner friendly. Even people that have not used WordPress before can migrate to websites from one host to another, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to go to installed plugins. Let me go to plugins, installed plugins, and let me just dismiss this notification, right? We know it is 1 day, 23 hours, just about 2 days. So I'm going to click on okay, got it, right? If I want to expand this to know how much time I have left, I'm just going to click on this show intro. But it is a good idea to back up and download a copy of your website from time to time, because you never can tell. You might just slip off. Before you know it, you wake up and your time is up and you cannot access your website again. All right, so let me just shut this down again. I'm clicking okay, I got it, and I'm going to go to installed plugins, and my goal is to delete all the plugins that came with this installation. So I don't need any of them. I'm going to install mine. So I'm going to delete all the plugins by first deactivating them. Remember, I selected them all and I deactivated. Then now I'm just going to delete the plugin. Right. Now I'm going to install a plugin, the plugin I told you about. So I'm just going to go to add new plugin. 2 plugins actually. One is the main plugin. The other is an extension to that main plugin. Now let me just click on choose. The name of the plugin is all-in-one WP migration. Please note, this is a special version. If you install the latest version, you're gonna have to pay money to do some certain things. But this is a special version, and I'm going to be showing you guys now. So, and I'm going to be sharing with you in the group. So this is the file, the first file you are going to download, and I'm going to share it in the group, and you're going to click on activate. Let me just go to the group and share it now so I don't forget. So I'm going to go to Telegram group, and I'm going to go to, let me just click create a new channel. Create a new topic that says plugins, right? Premium plugins. So let me just create a new channel that says premium plugin. I'm currently creating the new topic, right? Not a channel, actually, it's a topic. It's a topic inside my channel. I organized my Telegram channels. My Telegram channel by topic, so it is easier for you to navigate stuff, right? So I'm just going to create a new topic called premium plugins, right? Premium plugins will be provided for free. It is a place where you get premium plugins free of charge without having to pay any money. Though in my previous videos, I have already shown my subscribers how to download premium plugins without having to pay any money at all. So now let me just upload these 2 files inside this premium plugin topic on the Telegram channel. So this is it. These are the 2 files you need for backup and restore, so that you can always back up your progress and restore your progress. Now the first file I'm going to download is this all-in-one migration plugin, but I don't need to download it again because I already have it installed on my PC, and I've already installed it on my WordPress website. Now you are going to get this notification that there is a new version. Don't update. Remember, I told you that this version we installed is a special version that I've been using since 2 years back, and please don't update it. Now we have two plugins here, so you can download it and use it to follow this tutorial. You know where to go, right? You go to the channel and you go to premium plugins and you go download um the plugins, right? And this is the first one you install before you install the extension. So now I'm going to install the extension, upload plugin, scroll down. This is the extension, right? So I'm just going to click open and install now. The extension is actually lighter, so it is going to install faster. Once that is done, I'm going to click on activate. Now we have a WordPress plugin, right, that allows us to back up our stage, our process. That allows us to back up our website. Now, this is very, very, very important. This thing I'm about to tell you, if you don't follow it, it doesn't matter anymore whether you back up or you don't back up. You will lose access to your website. So please pay attention. After installing this plugin, the next thing you will do now is you go to settings. You go to users, you go to all users. You see the default user here called admin, right? What you will do next is edit this and change your password. Though I wouldn't even recommend to take that route. Just what you do next is, instead of changing your password, just add a new user and give it the role of administrator. That way you are a little bit safer, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on username and I'm going to give it a new username. So in my own case, I can just say uu.odu, which is my name, like Yusuf Odukoya. So this email, I'm just going to use my personal email for now, and all these are automatically filled, right? This password, please don't forget this password. You can copy it and go and paste it somewhere like Google Keep if you know that you will forget. But in most cases, you may not forget, but it is very, very crucial. And don't rely on the browser, this prompt that will say you should save password. Don't ever do that in this case. So all you need to do is go to, as long as you are signed in Google account in your computer, all you need to do is just go to Google Keep and save the password there. So in my own case, I just use keep.new. It's a trick that lets you quickly create a new note sharp. So I'm just going to paste the password here. You can just say my PW so that you can remember my WordPress PW, or you can use anything that will make you remember. So that is the password. I don't think you need to put in the username, but let's just put it so to avoid stories that touch. So in my own case, my username is what was the username? Let me check. Yes, uu.odu. So I'm going to close it. My password has been successfully saved, as you can see here, right? This is like the password. Yeah, this is like the password for the WordPress website. I'm using style to scroll down to see if I have not accidentally revealed any sensitive details from my Google Keep. But you get what I'm saying. This is the password that we used to create this new user. Though we've not created the user yet, make sure that the password is the same with the one you saved here before you click on add new user. But before you click on add new user, you have to change the role to administrator. Now we have two administrators on this WordPress website. The reason for that is that do you know the reason for doing that? The reason for doing that is that we want to log out now and delete this admin and delete it, right? So I'm just going to go to admin. I'm going to go to this account and log out. The reason for deleting this admin is that using a username called admin on your WordPress website, regardless of whether it is in development or it is already in existence. It's already in use. What I mean by in development is a website that you have not announced, you've not made public, or it is already in use. A website that you've made public and you probably sending traffic to is the one that I mean by it is already in use. So I'm just going to click on um I'm just going to click on this, and I'm just going to click on delete. But I'm not sure if it is possible to delete a currently logged in user, but let's try. WordPress will not allow you to do that. So before you can delete a user, you have to log out of that user first. You can't delete yourself while still logged in, but you can delete another account when you are logged in from that from when the account is different from the currently logged in account. In other words, if this is the account currently logged in, then you can't delete it while you are logged in. You have to first log out. Log in with the new account that we just created. So I'm just going to, I think it is uu.odu, right? Then let me paste the password that we have from here. When you are copying and pasting password, do not make no mistake. Don't copy the extra space at the end of that password. So you have to be very careful. So now I'm copying it now and I'm pasting it here, right? So this is the correct way to copy and not this. If you copy this, you may get an error because you will notice an extra space after this queue. So don't do that. All right, so I've pasted the password. Now I can log in. Now that I'm logged in, I may or may never save the password. It doesn't matter, but in my own case, I will not save it anyways because our 2 days for this website will soon expire and I'll be working on another website given to me by this Taste WP. The domain will change by then. All right, so what next? The next thing is for you to go and delete that user called admin. You can see now I'm logged in uu.odu and I'm going to delete this. Delete. No, when you are deleting a user, just to keep yourself safe so that you don't accidentally delete any WordPress styles such as Elementor styles, always attribute all content to an existing user of your choice. In this case, this is the only existing user we have. So I'm going to confirm deletion. If you don't do that, if you have done some work with that user account before and you don't attribute all your content, you go and delete all the content, you may lose your customizations in Elementor, especially the ones done by this user. So always attribute all content to Yusuf. Right now, the user is gone and the user is deleted. The WordPress account is a bit safer now. And also, in the event that we do a backup and restore, we can always log in with this data, because remember, when you do a backup, it does a backup of all your database and your users. All right, so that is that important part that I want to tell you. Please follow every single line of that advice, and if you have a question, you can always drop it in there. But I don't think you should have a question because that was straightforward. Now the picture you are seeing here was you may be wondering what time they have to create a picture and why was a picture automatically showing. It is because of a WordPress service called Gravatar. Gravatar is a platform that was created by the creator of WordPress. I think his name is Matt Mullenweg, right? So this is it. Some time ago, I created a Gravatar account, and anytime you log in with the same password, anytime you use the same username to create an account on that. So I'm not saying you should use this Gravatar. There is a solution that allows you to have a profile picture on your WordPress website. It is called local avatars. We are going to be dealing with that shortly. So it is really not worth the stress going to gravatar.com to go and create an account and all of that. It really doesn't make sense to me, but people still use it, but I don't. I just like the idea of having my avatars locally installed on my WordPress so I can carry it with or without logging into Gravatar or without using my Gravatar email. The reason why this profile picture is showing here is because I use my Gravatar email to create this account, right? So that is why. So just in case you are wondering. Now back to business. Remember, why we are doing this video is because we want to create a website that looks exactly like this. What do we need to do that? First thing first, you need to go to Appearance, Themes. Then you need to install a theme called Hello Elementor, and that is exactly what I'm going to do now. So Hello Elementor, that is the theme I'm going to be installing, right? Don't think there's anything special about this theme. In fact, there is nothing special about this theme. The reason why developers like this theme is because it has an 100% compatibility with the Elementor page builder. There is very, very low chance that you are going to run into a conflict. It is very, very compatible with Elementor. And that is the reason why developers like WordPress developers like Hello Elementor, right? Another option is Astra, which unfortunately is no longer on the WordPress repo because of some issues they had in the past. I think they were banned because they were, I don't know that story. I don't know much detail about that story, but something like that. They didn't conform with the WordPress, uh, or it could be a personal decision. I don't know why they've not appealed. And but so the other thing is called Astra. So apart from Hello Elementor, another option is Astra. But worldwide, developers always love to work with this theme. This theme by default is very, very ugly because it is bare bones. But the reason why developers go for it, like I've mentioned earlier, is because it is 100% compatible with Elementor. It was the people that developed Elementor that also developed it. So you understand where I'm coming from. Now I've installed the theme by clicking on this button that was here before. Now after I've installed the theme, I'm just going to click on activate. Now I've activated it. So I've activated the theme. I can now delete the 2023 theme on the website. This is just good practice. So you reduce the amount of bloat or the size of your website and to remove unnecessary resources. And that is exactly why I deleted the theme that was there before I installed Elementor. Now, the next thing we are going to do now is to install Elementor itself. Now, clicking on this Elementor button is going to install the free version of Elementor. But the free version of Elementor is not going to be enough for us to build a website like this, right? So we are going to need the pro version of Elementor, which is called Elementor Pro. But I've installed the free version of Elementor now, and I'm just going to click on Activate Plugin. So I'm going to click on Activate Plugin. Just in case you are wondering, another way to install Elementor is to always come to the Add New Plugin here, just in case there's something wrong during the process of following up. Maybe you took a break or something. You can always find it in the list of plugins here, so you can install it from there. But since I've already installed it, it will just tell me active. So I hope you get the point. Now that we've installed the Hello Elementor theme, we've installed the Hello Elementor theme, and we've installed Elementor, and we've installed these two backups plugin that allows us to move our data when we, from when this timer nearly ends, or even just to feel safe, you can severally back up your website from time to time just to feel safe. And if you have the data bundle to do that, now to do that, to back up your website, now that we've installed the plugin, all you need to do is come in all-in-one migration plugin, then you go to backups. Now you create backup, and you get your backup file here. Now you see for 3 MB, and that's because it is very small, and that's because I just started building this website. I've not done much. Well, it's a good thing though, and you can easily click on this button to download an offline copy of your backup. Now you can see here, I have an offline version of this backup. It has finished downloading. So this is an offline backup of the of my site, right? So I'm just going to close it and continue with my work. Now, if I go to visit site, you'll see how ugly this site is, right? There's nothing there yet, absolutely nothing. Next thing I'm going to go to dashboard, and I'm going to go to pages, and I'm going to delete all the pages here, right? Move them to trash. I really like to do my work to make it tidy, so that's why I'm doing all of this. So I want to start from the very, very scratch. So everything is deleted. I'm going to go to post, go to all posts, and click on this hello word and move everything to trash, right? Now we have an almost empty content on the website. First thing first that most beginners don't do is the site branding, right? It's the site branding. But before we get to all that, there are still some beginner settings that you need to adjust on your WordPress website. One, and very, very key, is going to settings and going to permalinks. Go to permalinks and make sure that this permalink structure is changed to post name. If you don't do that, your website's URL, they are going to be looking like a magazine URL that have date inside of it, and it doesn't make sense to the human eyes. So we just need to go to post name. www.mywebsite.com/rabbit is better than www.mywebsite.com/2024/02/rabbit. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's better than www.mywebsite.com/p=143. Do you understand? So that is what permalink means. So changing it to post name, we make it very readable and sweet. So just like you have a website like sterling.ng, sorry, just you have a website like sterling.ng/smidan, right? So having a link like this that is easily readable makes it very even better for human beings to be able to remember and to be able to remember your website. Now you can see here, this is actually very cool, and you can see the knowledge of WordPress is very, very important. This website was built using WordPress and belongs to one of the foremost banks in Nigeria, meaning that if you have WordPress skills, you can always find employment. That one is guaranteed. Me, I don't do WordPress website. I've even retired. I no longer take jobs from clients anymore. So if you have that kind of skill and you learn it very well, money is going to pursue you. You can never be poor. You can never be poor. So that's just about it. So just take this thing I'm teaching you seriously. You can actually use it to, though we are following this website, you can actually use it to build the website of your choice. Or I used WordPress to build quite a lot of dynamic websites. You're still getting there, but this is just me flexing my powers. Let me give you an example of websites I built with WordPress. This website I built with WordPress. This website I built with WordPress. Nearly all my websites were built with WordPress. So you can see as well, this website allows people to download logos, search for logos. For example, I want to search for, let me say, La Liga logo. I'm searching for La Liga while still seeing La Liga here because I don't have much logos yet on the website. So you can see it here, download, and people are able to download the logos. So that is it. You can use WordPress to build anything you want. This website allows people to search for user manuals. So let me look for maybe Toyota user manual. So you can see here, let me check this Tacoma user manual of 2023. This website allows you to view user manuals, all built using WordPress. So if you calm down, if you learn WordPress, you are just going to enjoy it. You are also going to have money. There's no way you will not have money, because even if you don't work for clients, you can build websites to show advertisements. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. You build websites to show advertisements like this. Let me just refresh this page. I was using an ad blocker before, and you will see an example of such advertisements I'm talking about. Some pages don't show advertisement as far as per AdSense. We know that, right? So you can see all these advertisements. They earn me money on the AdSense platform. Note that I don't have to talk to any client to earn this money, right? So if you are a WordPress developer, there are quite a lot of opportunity for you to make money from. Is it working for clients? Is it working for your own self? That is why you need to take this training seriously. Now let's go back to our training. Sorry to digress a little bit. I hope that was motivating a bit. So I'm just trying to say that even if you don't work for clients, you can decide to build things yourself and make money off it. Now let's go back to our permalink. I told you to always use the post name permalink and click on save changes. Now it says that the permalink structure is updated, which is very, very good. The next thing we want to do now is to brand our website. Do you understand? Branding a website is very, very important. Now, how do you brand your website? Before we go further, we need to first install Elementor Pro, just so that everything is already ready and set. So how do we get Elementor Pro? Remember, Elementor Pro is a paid software, right? You have to pay if you want to. Elementor Pro is a paid software. But there is a way I'm going to show you where you can download. Elementor Pro is a piece of software just trying to show you how much you would have spent if you wanted to buy the Elementor page builder plugin. You can see now that the least you can spend is $59, and with the rate of naira now, you don't want to, spend so much money as a beginner, especially that you are just doing a hobbyist project and trying things out. So I released a video that showed how to get premium WordPress plugins, and I released my 3 of my best websites, and I even showed you my very, very best website. Now, we are not going to be paying for this software, but we are going to be getting it. My best website to get all these plugins from, I'm sharing you this top secret, is gpldl.com. So I'm just going to go to gpldl.com. gpldl.com requires that you have an account. So you're going to have to be signing in before you download any plugin. Most of the plugins on GPLDL, they are free, but some require you to make a small amount of donations. But even in that case, there's still other places to get WordPress plugin. Watch my previous video to learn about all those websites. I think you can find it in the group. If you can't find it, you can ask the other subscribers in the group or ask me directly. So I'm just going to log in into this website and I'm going to search for Elementor Pro. Now, there are plenty of websites you can download Elementor Pro Node version from. It is actually called Node version or a GPL version. But sorry, hold on, please. Sorry, I had to respond to a text message. All right, so now, but this website, like I was saying, there are plenty of websites. At least 3 websites I mentioned in my previous video that you can download all these kind of plugins from, premium plugin for just free. But this is my favorite website because the plugins you download from here are mostly virus free and easy to use. Now, this is it. This is it here. And I'm just going to click on download. Downloading plugins on this website is very easy and straightforward. Just going to click on the download button. All right, so now that I've downloaded this plugin, my regular workflow is after downloading any plugin, regardless of whether you trust the website or not, you should scan the website, right? So I use this website called virustotal.com to scan this website. This website is actually managed by Google. Is run by, I think it's managed by Google. Not so previously, but Google bought it at some point. I don't know the current owners now, but it's, in essence, this website, virustotal.com, is one of my best websites for scanning antivirus. In fact, this is my only website that I use to scan for viruses before I introduced such plugins to my WordPress website, right? So always come to this website once you have downloaded the plugin to scan it for virus. Another reason why I like this website, that it doesn't waste your time. If somebody has already analyzed the plugin before, it won't even bother wasting your time because it uses a technology that we call MD5 checksum, and this is the MD5 hash that they use to identify whether the plugin is the same with somebody who have scanned it before or not. So this saves time instead of having to rescan and waste your time and make you wait. All right, so now that you know what I'm talking about, we've actually downloaded this plugin now and we've confirmed that it is virus free. The next thing we want to do is add it to our website by going to plugins, add new plugin. So I'm just going to click on add new plugin and I'm going to click on upload plugin and I'm going to drag the plugin inside here. Another way you can then install it, another way to do that is, another way to actually drag a plugin inside here is to select it and look for the plugin that you just downloaded. In this case, I think this is it. So that are 2 main ways you can use to upload files inside WordPress. But this method, dragging it from the download history, is faster and make you look like a computer wizard. But it's only applicable when you are working on a PC. Some people want to attempt to design websites using a mobile phone, but let me tell you, that is going to be a failed attempt, right? a PC is recommended for building websites, especially with Elementor. So I'm just going to click install now to install our Elementor Pro. Once it is installed, I'm just going to click on activate plugin. Now we have all the plugins we need to start building this our website, right? We have all the plugins we need to start building our website. Now let's go back to this website and see this website, the search bar is not even working, but we are going to have our own search bar that will work. All right, now here it is. We have all our plugins set. We have Elementor and Elementor Pro. The other two plugins is just to back up our progress. If you are working on your own personal website with your own personal domain that you paid your money for, you may not need the other two plugins for now, but it is still a good thing to have backups of your website on your laptop so that if anything goes wrong with your hosting plan, you can always restore it. All right, so like I told you, the reason why we installed Elementor Pro is so that we can do quite a lot of things that Elementor free version is limited to. All right, and I told you that one of the very first step after doing all these things we've done before is to brand your website. How do we brand your website? So we use Elementor to brand the website because we'll be using Elementor page builder anyways. So we go to do this, we go to Elementor and we go to we go to Elementor, then we go to settings and we go to advanced. Okay, now that we've installed Elementor Pro, we go to, there are some things that you need to activate. So before we even start branding the website, I'm already there in the first place. So I'm just going to go to advanced and I'm going to make all these changes here. So let's explore them one by one, right? Integrations, no, you don't need all of this for now. So advanced, enable unfiltered file uploads. Well, you may not enable this. There's a special plugin that we use, but of course you can also enable it. But the reason, what I've noticed about this feature is that even when you enable it, WordPress will still not allow you to upload SVG files on your device, and this is really needed sometimes. So just leave it unenabled. Change it to enabled, and next I'm going to click on features. There are some features that you should enable by default, so please follow me and make these changes. I'm going to go to grid container, activate. I'm going to scroll down this build with AI. I'm going to set it to inactive. This nested element, I'm going to put it on activate. This nested element is a very good feature that most people don't know about. Even if you search Google, you will not see much information about it. So just click, and I will show you. Just click on activate, then lazy load background images, leave it like that. Display conditions, you can leave it like this, but let's enable it. Let's make it active. This display conditions is a new feature that allows you to set when a widget should show. It is even more advanced than the responsive conditions, right? So we're going to be playing with it. I've never ever used it before, so we're going to use it together. Don't worry. So I'm going to activate it anyways, and I'm going to leave every other thing disabled. I'm just going to leave every other thing as is. Once I'm done, I'm just going to click on save changes, which I've done before. So the next thing we want to do now is to actually customize our website. To brand our website. We are going to be setting things like fonts. We are going to be setting things like fonts. We are going to be setting things like fonts and font sizes and colors, right? So that is the essence of customizing and branding our website. You see this Elementor debugger here. We are going to remove it. I don't know how to remove it though, but I'm going to find out, right? And again, you don't have to worry about it. In fact, you don't even have to click it at all. You know what? Let's just ignore it. But before we go ahead, let's go to plugins. And this is only recommended because I'm using this platform, right? By default, this platform outputs errors because it's a development platform. Don't let all these things confuse you if you don't already know, right? By default, it outputs what? Errors. And to correct that, we are going to install a plugin called File Manager, right? I'm just going to click on File Manager and I'm going to install one of these, but I like this so much because it is easy to use. So I'm just going to install this File Manager. Once installed, I'm going to click on Activate. Now that the File Manager is activated, I'm going to look for that file that you can deactivate something called WP debug, right? There's a feature called WP debug. If it is on, any small plugin issue or any small error that WordPress would normally work despite the fact that it is an error, WP debug will print that error out. And in some applications, once that error is printed out, the application will not work. So it's always a good practice that unless you are investigating the cause of an error, WP debug should always be set to false. And again, I repeat this is only necessary if you are using Taste WP as I'm using in this tutorial. Of course, I expect you to be using it because I mean that's the essence of you are following me. So you scroll down and you look at this WP debug, you set it to false, right? Once it is set to false, you can save and close and continue your work. In fact, after doing that, you can even delete this WordPress File Manager plugin because we don't need it anymore after editing that file. But I'm just going to leave it on this WordPress website. But if you are on a production website, when I say production website, I mean a website that is already in use, you can delete it. You can deactivate and delete it. Let me just do that now. If I ever need it again, I'm just going to go install it. So I'm deleting it now. Deleting it does not alter the value of that file that we changed, right? It was just a tool that we used to change that file. So if you delete it, it doesn't mean that it will go and revert the changes on that file. All right. So it is just good practice to make sure that WP debug is set to false. All right, unless when you need it, but we don't need it and we may never need it. Now let's refresh this page. You can see that Elementor debugger is gone, right? There was an Elementor debugger icon here, is gone. Now that was an effect of WP debug. So if WP debug is set as true, the Elementor debugger stays there. Otherwise, it is gone, which that is supposed to be the case. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to create a page. Remember that my goal is to customize and brand this website before creating a page, but I'm not seeing the button yet. So let's see if creating a page will give us access to that settings, to that menu, and you will get what I'm saying now. So to create a page title, let's look at the title of the website we're trying to copy. What is the title? The title is home, right? But this number we're not going to be copying. So let's just say the title is home, and we are going to set this page to be our home page. All I need to do here is just write the name of the page and nothing else. So I'm just going to click on publish, and I'm going to click on view page. Now I'm viewing the page called home, and as you can see here, the title is printed out here. Normally the title is not supposed to be printed out as part of the page. So there are two ways to eliminate this. Is either you go into Elementor. Of course, both ways you need to go into Elementor anyways, but it is not a must. But you can go into Elementor to actually So let me close this model and let me zoom again. All right, the first way to remove the title of your post from your post content is to go to settings here and go and hide the title. That's the first way. But the best way to do it is to change the page layout completely from Elementor default to Elementor full width. And once you update it, the title will automatically be hidden. So I'm just going to update it, and I'm just going to go to preview changes. This is the expected behavior, and this is exactly what you should do. So use Elementor full width. Elementor full width as the page layout. Now how can we change this Elementor full. Well, you don't have to change it anyways, but I mean, you can decide to do it. You just change the default page layout. Now let's go and see whether we can change it. So I'm just going to click on this hamburger. Remember, the hamburger is this on the top left corner of this panel. So I'm just going to click on the hamburger and I'm going to go to site settings. Now, this is that part of the Elementor site that we want to use to brand our website. You can see that this tutorial is getting very long, and it is because unlike YouTube editors, I'm not cutting it out. You are seeing everything raw. All right, because that is the exact same things experts do when they want to start a new website. That's why they will tell you that this website is going to take 3 months. But you as a beginner, you skip all these things and go and import template and send it to the owner. What usually end it is poor results, poor quality results. But I've created this Telegram channel to show you how to really build an empire out of WordPress website, and there are no way you can do that except you know in depth what is going on. All right, all we are trying to do here is to brand this website. Normally, if I were not copying this website, I would just go to Google Fonts, find out some nice fonts.google.com, find out some nice fonts that I can use as heading and as body copy. So any website that you see, they are always headings, right? Like you can see this big text, they are called heading. You can see that they are almost similar in appearance in terms of the geometry of the fonts, how the fonts are drawn out, the glyphs, right? So you can see now that all the titles or the headings, they look similar in terms of appearance, right? And that is the exact same thing when you are building a website. You need to put all these things into factor. You are not going to be changing fonts manually one by one when you create heading. You have to set a default for all of these things. So if in my own case, if I wasn't copying a website, I would just go to Google Fonts because Elementor uses the Google Fonts database. Let me give you an example. Let me just close these settings. We are done here for now. No, we are not done here. Before I go, let me just create a few content so that we can have a preview of all these things when we are changing them. So let me just close these settings back and show you what I'm talking about. So here, I'm going to import one heading here just as an example. But before I do that, it's always a good idea to first add a container. In my own case, I like to use Flexbox a lot. I like to use Flexboxes a lot, especially when I'm not trying to make things into equal grids. I will explain more on that later, but more than 95% of the time, you will be using this Flexbox. For now, just ignore this grid. So click on this Flexbox, click on this direction. What that means is that anything you add will be stacked on top of each other. What this means is that anything you add will be put side by side each other. So for now, just as a demonstration, let me put the down direction. Now that I have a container, I want to put a widget inside the container. In this case, it is the heading widget, which will allow me to write big text like the title of a document or of a page. Now, as you can see here, the heading widget is here. As you can see here, the heading widget is here, and everything still looks pretty ugly for now. And that is why you are an expert. I'm teaching you how experts create websites from pure ugliness into astonishing beauty. And if you calm down, you will learn all the difficult parts of web design and you will become an expert in no time, depending on how much you practice, depending on how much you consult this video. Okay, so I'm just going to add an heading text. One thing you will notice is that everything seems pretty random and ugly for now. For example, the text here is different. The color is different from the text here. And this Europe industry here is even supposed to be a logo. And a text was used because we don't have a logo set for it. But we're going to get everything done. So now you notice that this text is ugly, big, bold, for nothing, and so we are just going to try to customize it. Now, I just want to show you that Elementor uses the Google Fonts database. What that means is that any font you can see here you can also see inside Elementor. No matter how strange that font looks, you will surely find it inside Elementor. Look at this font that says Protest Revolution, right? I actually like this font because it looks like a brush. I might just use it in one of my projects. All right, but let me don't bore you. So I'm just going to go to style, and I'm going to click on typography. This is to show you that all Google fonts are also on Elementor. I don't know how they did it, but it kind of synchronizes. So like you see here, oh, Protest Revolution. This font is not yet on Google, on Elementor, probably because Elementor has not added it, and this font just got added to the Google Fonts database, because personally myself, I've not even seen it before. But if you want to use it in your project, there are ways you can do it, but that would be too difficult for you for now. And even myself, sometimes, it just takes unnecessarily long. So let's just use a font that looks like this font for our heading. Then, so the essence of coming here has failed, because I am not able to prove to you that every font that you find on Google Fonts will be found here as well. But that is not to worry. Most fonts that you find in Google Fonts here are also found inside of Elementor by default without installing any additional plugin. But the reason why I'm showing you this is that if I want to start a web design logo, I used to go to this website for fonts. I'll determine the fonts that I will use for my headings, and I'll determine the fonts that I will use for my body copy. I'll write them down, and I'll come and set them here, which is part of the website branding, and that is where I'm taking you to now. So you do all those settings here. Click on this hamburger menu, click on site settings. I intentionally added this. Let me even add more elements, which is the text body, so that we can see the effect of changing the font. So I've added a widget called the text editor, right? Text editor widget. I added it here. All right, so the reason why I added it here is so that we can see how the changes we are making on this site settings is affecting our website. So these are just going to give us a preview. All right, so first thing, I'm going to start with a color palette, right? With setting my colors, right? Now I'm going to come here. I'm going to set the primary color of my site. These primary colors are what things like heading text or would usually be shown in. All right, if you add a new heading or a title, this is the color that it will inherit. So let's first change the colors. But how do we know the best colors for our project? If not because I'm copying from this website, which is of course one of the best ways to know what colors to use for the project. For example, if you want to start a website, you can just go to a website like gtbank.com, so that you can get an insight on how they've used colors. So that is one of my best things to do. I look at many websites and see how they've used colors so that everything is in harmony. There is no color riot everywhere and the colors blend together. Another way to look for color inspiration is you go to a website called colors.co. Don't just start designing a website without having an idea of the total combination of colors you are going to be using for that website. All right, so in this website, I'm just going to go to start the generator, or I don't want to go to start the generator. Let me just explore trending palettes. Also, creating a website, right? Creating a website has a lot to do with knowing how to use colors well. So you must know how to use colors well. Luckily, this website has provided us with some color inspirations that we can use when designing our website. For example, this looks like a website, a color scheme that a makeup website will want to use. And this looks like a color scheme that, for example, a garden, a plant website we want to use. You get how colors affect emotions, right? So you need to look at the best colors for your project. So this colors.co is the best place to come for color inspirations. Another best and surefire way is to copy how an existing website have used colors on their platform before. So for example, I've clicked on AliExpress now, You can see how they've used a combination of red and orange on all over their website. So you can also decide to go to that route. So it all depends on you, the type of project you are working on. One piece of advice though, if you are working on a news website, it is preferable to go and seek color inspiration from other news websites and draw a final conclusion on what colors you are going to. Also bear in mind that not all colors go hand in hand together. So you might also want to learn one or two things about choosing colors from another source, maybe YouTube or something. But it's a good thing that we found a website that have used colors well. We can just copy the exact color palette on this website. One thing I noticed is that they use this type of deep blue colors for their headline, right? You see, when I highlight this text, that blue thing that showed in the highlighter is called the accent color, which is ACCENT. We are going to get to that. But for now, what you should focus on is the colors that were used for the headings in this website. They are deep blue. I don't think they are black. Now, we are going to confirm it. There are quite lots of tools that you can use to pick colors on your screen. As a designer, these tools are indispensable because they are very useful. Personally, I've installed an extension on my MacBook that allows me to pick any colors that I want to pick, and it will tell me details of those colors. Now look, as when I press the shortcut combination here, it just lets me select what color I want to pick. It will pick the color, tell me the code, and I can use it anywhere. So I'm just going to use this tool. I don't expect you to have this tool if you don't install it, but the essence of telling you this is to go install it so that you can accurately pick colors on your screen and determine what color was used where, and also get the color code. Now, I've been able to get the color code for this text, and I'm going to be using it on our on our website project that I'm working on. So the text for the main title, the main colors will be this color that I've selected. So let me go and paste it here. I would usually need to put hash myself before pasting the color, right? That is how that tool works. But if you want to use, if you don't have that tool, you can easily install Chrome extensions that, we have Chrome extensions like color picker. Let me show you. Just go to, if you are using Chrome browser, and most website developers use Chrome browser. Of course, if you want to use Opera Mini, Opera, you can also use it. So how do you install the color picker? Go to extensions and go to visit Chrome Web Store, right? Then you can search for color picker. So you can see here there are quite a lot of options here. You can try the one that works very, very well for you. You might have to test one or two to find out which one works for you. So it's just simple as adding them to Chrome, then you find it. Personally, I look for tools with good ratings, right? And I install them. So that is just the idea behind color picking. You pick colors so that you can work harmoniously, right? But I use a tool called, on my Mac, is the tool is for MacBook. It's called, what's the name? Color Slop. So if you are on Mac OS, if you are watching this tutorial on Mac OS, you can install this Color Slop tool. There is even one I use on Windows, but it is called Windows Power Toys. It also allows you to use a color picker tool as well. It's called Windows Power Toys. So if you are interested, I'm not saying it's a must. It has nothing to do with this tutorial, but this is Windows Power Toys. If you are using Windows, you search for it on Google and you download it. Please don't use it to damage your PC because it provides advanced features beyond just color picking anywhere on the screen. All right. The advantages of using those things over Chrome extensions is because it allows you to pick colors regardless of where you are in your computer. So look at this. I want to pick this Telegram color now. You can see I'm not even in a Chrome browser. So that is why those tools are useful to you if you are a serious website designer or even a graphic designer. Now, the secondary color is actually going to be used where the primary colors are not used. So we want to look for secondary colors. Let's see. So I'm going to set these secondary colors to be this blue that is a bit light, right? You can see The secondary colors can be used for things like hover and over color. You know, when you put a mouse on something, that color that shows, right? So let's set it like this. And so we have two colors stolen from this website that we want to work on. Now, the next color is this, which is a text color. This text color is the original color that text will inherit. As you can see, when before I came here, the color of the text that I added in that document was this color. This is a bit like it's light in my own opinion. Text colors should be neutral, like it should either be black or white, but no one uses white as a default color for text because most likely you're going to be writing on a white background, and white on white, it means you will not see anything. So let's use a color that is dark but not completely black. The reason for that is so that it is a bit easier on the eyes. When the color is too black, it becomes too sharp. So people are going to have irritations in their eyes. Some people do, not everybody. But it is okay to have a color that is not completely black, but just a bit. You can see I put it here instead of here. So for text color, let's just raise it a little bit and leave it on this range. Now, accent is a color that shows when you do things like highlighting text and maybe on buttons as well. So for accent, it's usually similar to the secondary color, but let me confirm from this website. The accent is, let me select a text and use my color something to find out. So that is the color for the accent. So let me just give it this and this. You can see that it looks almost the same. If in fact it is the same with the secondary colors, but that is not a problem. In Elementor, you can also add custom colors to your universal color palette, which means that you can apply them anywhere by just selecting the globe icon, which I'm going to tell you later. But for now, we are okay and we are not going to be adding any custom colors. Let me see whether there are some colors we will also need here that we use frequently on this website. Oh, I can see some colors. So we are going to be adding some more custom colors to our palette. So I'm just going to add color here. I'm just going to select this. I'm going to select this color. I'm going to add this cream color. I can decide to give it a name instead of just new item. So I can say cream. And I'm going to add a new color. You see, all these things that I'm doing is what some people don't do when they are building websites. So I'm adding more colors because we need more colors, right, in our project. So this is it. You can see I've added this color. Let me add more. Let me just give it like light teal. Though this is not a must. I'm just using just to tell you that it is possible and so that you also can learn something. All right, so what other color have we not added? I think we've not added this cream color, or do you think we've added it? I think we've added it. What other color have we not added? Let me see the color used to write this text here. Featured episodes. I think I like this as well. It's a bit brown. All right, so I'm just going to add that color here too. Paste it here and just give it like a title, a bit brown. Again, all these titles are not necessary at all. All right, what other colors do we have that I've not copied? I think I've added all the colors. Yeah, I think I just added this color, and even if I have not, it looks too similar to this color that I added here now. Yeah, I think it is the same color. All right, so now we have all the colors we need to go ahead with this project now, right? Next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to click on update to save my color settings. All right, after doing that, I'm just going to click on this back button and go to fonts. Now we need to change our font styles, right? This is actually a preview of what our fonts will look like. So there are two places you are going to change your fonts from, but this is the first place. So let's change our primary font. Let me go back. I need to investigate what is the name of this font that is here, because we are copying this site and we want to copy their fonts as well. In some cases, the font used may not be a Google font, so that will be a little bit hard. But in most cases, even if the font used is not a Google form, there is always a Google Forms. I said Google Forms, Google Font. If the font used is not a Google font, there is always a Google font alternative. But let's hope that this font is a Google font. To do this, how do I know the name of this font that was used? There are many methods which you can know that. One method is to use Opera Mini. Chrome browser. The first method is to use Chrome extension to check for the font. So all you need to do is just go to extension. Like for example, I have this extension. It is called Type Scan. All I need to do is to put. Sometimes it is not always accurate though, especially when you are in some advanced websites. It will not pick it very well. But let's look at this website. For example, if I want to know the name of the font that was used here, I'm just going to click on Type Scan, and once I scan over, I will get the name of the font. But as I'm telling you, it's not that accurate, right? You can see me, it's giving me Roboto Sans, Roboto Draft, but I guess that is the name of the font. It may possibly, but the most reliable way to know the name of the font that you are seeing on your screen on a web browser, instead of using plugins, is to inspect the code, right? How do you inspect the code? You are going to right click on the element that you want to investigate, right click, and you type inspect element. Once you do that, once you are on inspect element, you go to, well, it is always a good idea to bring this panel down so that it is wide. So you can see where I clicked. You click on these three dots and you click on this down. Now you can ignore all the notices here. The reason why we are here is to investigate the title of this font that was used. Remember, I used this button to point to the title and click on it. So here in the filter here, we'll type the word family, right? So that it can bring the font family. In some cases, they will hide the font family under a variable. So all you need to do is to hover your mouse on a variable. Means that you just put your mouse on it. It will reveal the name of that font. You can see here we have Maven Pro. That is the name of that font, Maven Pro. So look at, if I click on it, I get it, Maven Pro. Now, Maven Pro, I suspect, is a Google font. It's a Google font. First, let me confirm to you here and you see it. So you can see that it is a Google font, and I'll show you here that it is also on Elementor. Now, we are going to set our primary font family to Maven Pro, right? And we are going to just leave every other thing as is for now, except if we have issues with it at the end of the day. So our secondary font, let me look at the fonts that these people used as their secondary font. Remember, I told you the best and most reliable way to know what font was used on a website is to inspect the element. So remember, the reason why this site is like this is because I zoomed it. So let me just, you can see, you don't have to zoom it to know the font. So let me just right click and click on inspect element. Now I've clicked on inspect element. And all I need to type here in the filter under style is family, and it brings the same thing. You can see the name of the font is called Open Sans. If I click on this variable, you see the name of the font is Open Sans. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in so that I can see very well, but I'm seeing it here. If you test it from your own end, you're going to see it as well. So the name of the font is Open Sans, and exactly what I'm going to type, put here as the secondary font. We've already set the primary font to be Maven Pro. Secondary font is going to be Open Sans, right? So it's also a Google font, right? Then the reason why I always love checking fonts from Google Fonts here is because it gives me the preview, and it's much more convenient than using Elementor to scroll. But if you have so much time, you can just be scrolling through your Elementor fonts and be checking the preview from here. But I always like Google Fonts too. But there are many ways you can do the same thing. Okay, so secondary font is we changed it from Roboto Slab to Open Sans. The idea is A font that you set as secondary font should also be set as your text font and the likes and accent font. So we set Open Sans as the secondary font. So it is also going to be our um, text font. So I'm going to change this text font. I'm going to change this text font to Open Sans, right? So this is it. So that all our other text apart from the heading text have this harmony, consistency. So I'm just going to change accent font also to Open Sans, right? So we are having almost the same looks and branding as that website that we are copying from. I'll tell you now where we are going to. All right, so we have everything set up. Remember, the only thing I changed here are just the font families. I didn't change the weight. I didn't change anything else. And that is exactly what you should do. All right, so I'm going to click on update. What this fallback font family means is actually the type of style that we load, font size, font style that we load. I don't want to bore you with this. It's actually an irrelevant information. Just so you know, you can Google the difference between sans serif font and serif font and the difference in appearance. So what they mean is that maybe in the case of maybe your website was loading and the network fails, the font that it will fall back on is this sans serif, meaning any font that doesn't have something that is hanging down the edges, right? Like we have Type New Roman, it's a serif font. So this is just it. This is not, this has nothing to do with this training, but I just wanted to know, to be wide in knowledge. So this is the difference between a sans serif font and a serif font. In web design, what fallback means is that in the event that an expected event fails, what should happen next? So you already understand the relationship between fallback font family now, and since you know the difference between serif font and sans serif font, you already know what that means. All right, it means that the font that is going to be here when the network fails, or whether something happens and the font fails to load. All right, so now we have set our colors and we have set our fonts. We are good to go now. Now let me go back. There's this last one thing we need to do. We need to set our typography styles and our buttons. We need to set them all, right? We need to do all of those things. So I'm just going to go to typography, set it, and buttons, set it. I think that is all for now. So let me just go to typography. So typography, for text color, we are just going to set that same color for text that we have set here. You can see here. And for typography, we are going to we can say that the font family is default. I think there's really nothing much to do here. Yeah, of course. So we can set the text color. I think there's really nothing much to do here. But let's just make those changes again here. Remember, our body text is the text, something like this. A body text is a text that is not the heading text. That is body text. So if it is not the heading text, remember that we are using this font called Open Sans. We can't use this because that will mean it is conflicting with our setting that we had before. Remember, we use this type of font for only the titles and headings. But here now, our body text is going to be Open Sans, like we set in the text here. So Open Sans, nothing is changing, but we just want to come and do it here. It seems like a duplicate of what we've done before, but just please trust me and do it. That is how your master, me, does it, right? So just do it the same way. So for the link, this is actually the default color that will show when a link is hovered on. Let me see. Is there a color that we can use? Let's use this bit brown, so that when they hover on the link, it is going to change to this color. All right, H1 color, it means the color of big heading text like this. The lesser the number after the H, the smaller the text. Sorry, the higher the number after the H, the smaller the text appears, which means that H1 is bigger than H2 is bigger than H3, right? All right, so what is the color for our H1? We don't need to change it at all. Just change only the typography here. Don't change the color for H1 to avoid any form of problems in your design system. So just change the typography and make sure that the font is set as Maven Pro. Remember, it's that Maven Pro that we had before. So just change your typography and change it to what? Maven Pro. I don't know why it is not clicking again. All right, yeah, so Maven Pro, right? Yeah. So H2 should be similar to H1 in terms of font size. I mean, sorry, not in font size, though, in terms of font family. Remember, I did not change the size. I only changed the families. Please don't change the size too. The default Elementor font sizes are okay. So I've changed the font family to Maven Pro for H2. I'm probably going to do the same for H3. In fact, anything that carries H should be Maven Pro. So I'm doing that now. Maven Pro. H4 as well should be Maven Pro. H5, anything, heading is heading, whether H1 or H2, everything should be Maven Pro. So we are doing it. It looks like a manual job, but it is something that you thank yourself that you've done in the earlier stages of your design. Else, you have to manually do it. All right, this one as well will be Maven Pro. All right, now that we've set all our H, let's go back. For the buttons, we are going to determine the style of the buttons that will be used on our website. So look at this button. You can see that the edges are curved, but not as curved as this my website, for example. Let me show you. Let me show you just one on my website. The edges are curved, but the edges are not as curved as the buttons I used here. The edges are not as curved as the buttons I used here on my website. You can see that the buttons I used on this my website, they are curved. Like this quality in web design is what we know as the border radius. The radius is how curved the corners of a website is, right? I mean the edges of a website is. So that is just to explain to you the differences in design languages. So these people have decided not to use a super curved button, but just some rounded edges. The edges are not too sharp. Let me zoom in so that you can see. You can see that the edges are not too sharp. All right, so we are going to do the same for our buttons here by default. So let's go to our buttons, but this particular setting that we are in is okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go to our button. We go to typography. For our button, of course, buttons should be open sans, just the same something with the text. The weight, right? This is the only time I've had to change the weight for a button. The weight should be medium, but let's just leave it. Let's not change it. Let's maintain our normal workflow. We've not changed the weight since, so let's leave it like that. So we can always change it on a per button basis and always copy the buttons from one widget to another. So here is the typography. The border radius, this border radius should not be more than 8 or 10, but we can find out by inspecting the element again. So I'm just going to right click on this element and say inspect element. Now inside these styles, I'm going to type radius. So you are going to be able to get a hint of the border radius that was used. So let me just type border radius. You can see that the border radius, the value here is what is 3px. This is the way to interrogate or investigate design elements on another person's website if you want to copy it, if you like it and you want to copy it. I've already taught you how to do that. Just right click, inspect the element and type for the relevant value here. I've told you the value that is responsible for determining how curved the edges of a button is called border radius. If you are not unsure of what value is responsible for what, you can ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT these days is a bit intelligent. Look, because I expect you as a newbie, for example, not to know all these things, everything. So if you are curious, you can see what is the term for used for the roundness of a button in web design. I'm assuming that you are a newbie, that you don't know anything. You can easily ask ChatGPT so that you can know what to look for. You can see it is called border radius, and that is it here. So just in case you don't know what is happening for you it's border radius. So we got the border radius value of 3px. So we are also going to be using the same because we want the website to be as similar as this as possible. All right, so the border radius is what? 3px. So I'm just going to put 3 here since our unit is already set as px. So it means that every new button that we add is going to have this border radius of 3px, which is 3 pixels. So I'm just going to click on update and we are done, right? We are done as far as site setting goes. So I'm just going to click this and I'm just going to click on update. Let me go back here and see what is wrong. Why is this heading family not changing? I found out because before we went to site settings, we've added this widget. We should have gone to site settings and branded our website before adding this widget. Now you will see that any new title heading I add now has inherited our new style. Meanwhile, this is the old style. Two things. We can either change the typography to match it manually, but you can see that it is too manual, which makes branding your website a good idea and the first thing to do. Otherwise, you would have to come and be changing all these things manually after branding them. So you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so let's delete this because we don't need to. In fact, we don't need any of them at all. Now it's time to start branding our website. So I'm just going to click on update. Now it's time to start building our website. I'm just going to click on update and I'm going to exit this editor. All right. So let me just click on this WordPress logo. Probably just go to the home page. Now you can see that on the home page, the new page that we created that we called home is not even there yet. Right? The new page that we created that we called home is not there. So what do? We go to dashboard and we go and manually set it to be our home page. So how to do that? You go to dashboard, settings, then you go to settings, then you go to reading. Once you are in reading, you make a static page, right? And make this home page. This home page, right? Our home page, you want it to be a static page where if people should go on our website, this should be what they will see. You don't need to set anything for the post page. In fact, you can leave it empty, right? So this is it. Our home page is this. So we are going to select it. Remember, don't set anything for this one. Just leave this as is and save changes. Are you with me? So now that we've saved changes, anytime we go to the home page of our website, you see that you can see that archive is gone, right? You know that there was a content here that was saying archive. Meanwhile, we don't want any content at all. You see this part that you are seeing here. You see this part that you are seeing here and here. They are part of the footer of the website. They are part of this part of the website. But because they are ugly, you cannot know. They are part of this. So that's why. You see this part that you are seeing here. This part from here to here. They are part of this up here. But because it is ugly, you can't know yet. Because it is ugly. So that's why. The next thing you want to do if you are building a real website, and of course you should do in this tutorial, is to go to customize settings and change the site description from this just another WordPress website to something meaningful, right? So there is where to change it. Site identity, you change the tagline, right? Even if you would not be using the tagline, you have to put something there for SEO purposes, right? So, and it has to be descriptive. So if, for example, let's assume this website is about writing, right? So I can just say writing services, all for you. When you are writing a tagline, it's always a good idea to use what we call title case. Title case is a situation where all of the first letter of a sentence is in capital letters, right? It's just a good practice for people that write, or for designers, so that you write content that is easy to read. And when you are writing title case, these words like and, for, your, they are usually spelled in, beginning with small letters, and I don't know why, but that is how it has been. You can read lots of books, you find out that's how they do it. Of course, all for you like this is less appealing than writing it like this. So what I've noticed is that small words like this, they are usually written in small letters, even though all others. So that is some exception when you are writing in title case, but that is debatable though, right? So this site title should now be changed to what? To the title of your website. In this case, the title of this website is Milo. So we are just copying the website, so that is it. You see this select logo. Let me just publish it first. You see this select logo here, right? Let's just copy it since we don't have our own logo. So we save image as, and I'm just going to just save it like that. Now, where is our site logo? I'm just going to go to upload files and upload the logo that I stole from that website. So, but if you were working on a real project website, you are going to have to consult the designer to do a logo for you. All right, but look at, this is our logo. I'm just going to skip cropping. Skip. If you don't skip cropping, it will make your website, your logo messy. So just keep cropping. But it depends though, depending on, but this logo, we don't want to crop it. Now you can see that it is too big. Just don't worry. Just keep doing your stuff. The next thing we want to change is what they call site icon. What is a site icon? It is also called a fav icon. What did I call it? Fav icon, right? These are icons like this. That serves like an app icon on your phone for websites. So this is the site icon for this website. You can see that little M on the corner of the tab up here, right? There is no possible way to get it, but I'm going to teach you a trick on how to get the site icon of the site that you are copying from. What is the trick? I'm going to right click on any part of the website, and I'm going to click on page source, right? On Chrome browser, it may be another language, but page source will surely be there. But the idea is just to investigate the code that was used to build the website. Now, I'm going to look for the word fav icon, because that is what most websites usually name it. I'm going to look for the word fav icon. I don't know why it's taking so much time to search, but we must find that word called fav icon today. So I'm looking for the word fav icon. I'm using Ctrl F to do that, right? For me to be able to search from among these hundreds of content that made this website, which is the code, right? These are the code responsible for this website. So I'm going to look for fav icon, and I'm going to download the highest resolution. So in this case, the highest resolution is 300 by 300 pixels, and I'm going to click on this, the one that is clickable here. When I click on it, I get the image. Do you see how we are able to fetch the fav icon with no sweat? So I'm just going to save it on my laptop, and I'm just going to save it as fav icon and save. Well, I have a file named fav icon on my system before. I don't mind. I'm just going to replace. Now we can change the site icon. Watch here while I change the site icon. Watch this top. It is going to change now. So I'm going to click on upload files, select this file, and I'm going to look for my file that is named fav icon, and I'm going to open it. It may ask me to crop. I'm not going to crop, but it didn't ask me, so it's a good thing. So I'm just going to select this, and so see now it's asking me to crop. I'll say skip cropping, and I'm going to click on publish. Now you can see that our website now has a fav icon. For this, all we've done here is enough. So we don't need to do anything else. We just close this and go back to our website. Now we have our logo, we have our favor icon. The next thing we want to do now is to design the website header, right? The website header and the footer of the website, right? Because that is a site wide. It is always going to be like that throughout the entire site. So it is something that we need to design. It is something that we need. It is something that we need to design, because if we don't, then we will not enjoy our work. So personally, after branding the website, setting the logos, doing all necessary settings, the next thing I design is the website header and the website footer. Once I've done that, I'll just start designing the website content. Now, it is crucial as a web designer to know every part of a website, and that is what I'm going to do. I've started this recording since like 5 o'clock or even more, so it's going to be like an hour long now, and I like to break this series into multiple videos. So I'm going to be concluding this video now, so we go again like tomorrow. We're going to spend another 1 hour tomorrow to advance on this work that we've started, and hopefully we're going to be able to complete the entire website in about within four series of 5. All right, so we've done the logo, we've done the favor icon. Now it's time to do the header and footer. Now this is the heading of a website. Sorry, let me just go back. This is the heading of the website, and of course the website logo must be clickable and to go to the homepage of the URL always. That is best practice. And this is like the hero section. It is called hero section. I don't know why web designers call it hero section. Is it their hero? Is it their Superman? I don't know, but it is called hero section. If you're interested, you might want to ask ChatGPT, why is it called hero section? Me say if I don't know, but that is the name. I'm telling you now because you may want to do your research around hero section, such as do things like the term hero section in web design refers to how it often contains a large image or video background accompanied by concise and attention-grabbing content. The name hero suggests that this section plays a crucial role in capturing the visitor's attention and setting the tone for the response. So you can see the reason why it is called the hero section. It means that if this part of this your website is not attractive, then there's a very huge chance that other areas will not attract the attention of readers. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you that that part is called hero section is so that you can also search for things like hero section designs, for inspiration. You can see this. Do you understand? So in case you want to design websites by yourself, custom websites, you can look at Pinterest for inspiration on hero section. So for this project, this is their own hero section, and that's exactly what we're trying to build. All right, so before I even start building the hero section, which is the content and which is part of the home page, I want to build the header and the header and the footer, and that is going to come in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video from the beginning to the end. Lest I forget, remember, we are doing this thing on a borrowed hosting, right? We are doing this thing on a borrowed hosting, so I won't forget to back up just in case the next time I'm coming here my time is gone. Like I have 1 day 22 hours. I might just come here on Wednesday and see that my website is gone. So that is why we've installed this migration plugin. So I'm just going to go to backups, and I'm going to let me just close this. I'm going to create another backup. It's going to take a while because our website has grown from the last size to this, because as we keep working, our website keep growing. So I'm going to download this backup. The next class, you are probably going to see how I'm going to make use of this backup. So stay tuned and please stay around so that you can enjoy more and more detailed, workflows as far as web design is concerned. I believe by the time you spend 5 months inside this group, you would have learned the fundamentals and the basics of designing any type of websites at all with WordPress. All right, so do enjoy your day. I hope you enjoyed this one. So we are taking the backup now. Once that is done, I'm going to end the session, and we're going to take, continue our website building in the next, class. So we are going to design the headers, and we are going to design the home page in the next class. I hope you've been able to see how we've gone from an entirely ugly Hello Elementor theme to a branded website with branded you know text and logos and all of that. So watch out for the next session, and you will see how I'm going to make use of this file to restore my progress on another server when I finally resume for the next video. All right, thank you everybody. Just keep patient. My advice for you is don't rush things. Just watch this video, digest it, and wait for the next one. All right, bye.